it. Yeah. What do you think the first step will be?
npmi.
Yes, so we will install the dependency, all the dependencies. So we'll just say npmi. Let's check our dependency. So because we are using SQLize, we need to make sure we have SQLize. We do have it. MySQL 2, we do have it. We have JSON Web Token. We don't need Express session, but it's fine. We need Express. We need EGS. We need .env. We do need it. Cookie parser. We need it. bcrypt. We need it. UUID. We don't really need it. So to be honest, we don't need that. And I think we don't need that as well. I should remove those from the library. I should remove this one. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to run npmi again just to make sure. Perfect. After I run npmi, now I can just say npm run dev. Okay, my dev start as port 5004, which is good. It's fine. What will be as the next step? What will be the next step? You can check our index, right? We see if we are missing anything. So we are importing path and journey from path. We are importing file URL from URL. We are importing express.env cookie parser. We are importing our logger. We have user route, book route. Do we have book routes? Hello, do we have book routes?
Recipes.
Yes, so we need to change this guy here actually to recipes. So we can just say recipes. .gs, and in here what we can do, we can just modify this one, and we can just say import recipes route from /recipe, and that should be fine. We don't env config, we are just creating our port here. I can take my recipe now, go directly down here, and I can remove it. No, actually, this one user we doing it. We don't need book recipe. We can replace it with recipe routes, which should be good. Should I modify anything else? Should I modify anything else? Should I modify anything else?
No, it's fine.
It's good, actually. Yeah. So now what we can do now, we can go to our view to see what do we have. We have 404, that should be fine. We can go to our .env to make sure we have everything. So we have 5004 token secret, DB name demo, DB user root, localhost, that should be fine. Now, you need to remember something. When you start with a new project, you should normally create a new database. If you can use the old database if you want to, but you need to empty your table because it's a new project. So what I can do here, I can just say MySQL root will ask me for my password, of course, root.00. And now here, let me show database. What is the command? Show databases. And as you can see, I have demo. So let me create a new database. I can name it recipe, for example. How can I create a new database? Create database.
In the name.
And the name, let's name it recipes, like that. Click, and as you can see, I have my query now. I'm going to copy the name to make sure I'm just going to show the database again. And as you can see, I have my recipe, which is great. And now, of course, I can just keep this one on in case I need it. So I'm just going to keep it. I'm coming here. I'm going to change this name. It's no longer demo. It's recipe now. That should be good. Okay, fine. That should be good. Let's go here. Now we go to our route. For the user, I don't have any route here, so I need to create some route. For recipe, I don't have route as well. I need to create some route. For util function, all of them are here. I will need them. For 404, as you can see, take title and message. I can use it for the error and stuff like that. So that should be good. I need to make sure for don't get ignored. Do I have .env? Yes. Do I have .vs code? Yes. Do I have logs? Yes, I have logs. So all of that should be included in get ignored. I should not push them to GitHub. Okay, now let's go first to the user. It will be a good idea to start with the user. Add different user route, login, register, log out, and if everything is functional, then I can move to recipe. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Good. Now here I have book, which I have nothing here. I need to modify some stuff, but let's start with the route first now. For user route, what I will need? How many route will I need? So I will need
5.
router dot get. And of course, for get, I need to first do the register, right? Slash register. And when the user try to register, I need to send him a form because the method is get. Currently, I don't have any function, so I'm not going to write any function for now. I don't have any handler, I don't have any controller. I need to do the same for login. And also for register, I will need to do a router.post. And it will be the same register. For login, it will be the same as well. And here I just need to do logout.
Some.
Yeah.
Could you remove the extension?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I can. Better?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay, so I have 5 routes for the user, which is good. What I'm going to do, I'm going to open my controller like that. It will be a little bit easier. But before I go to the controller, I have users, that's fine. Before I go to the controller, I need to make sure my model is correct. So let's go to user module. What is the user module should include normally? It should include an ID, an email, and password. Do I need something else? Do I need something else? Hello? So the user table will include ID, email, and password. Do I need something else? Guys?
Repassword?
No, repassword. We do it just to make sure that the user, when he enter his password, that he corrected the right way. So it will be a front end thing. We need to do it in our validation. But when we save it into database, we don't need the repassword because the repassword and password is the same, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So I've created a function. Of course, you already have this one. I mean, you have in the template. We are just creating a function. This function takes 2 parameters, equalize, which will be the instant of the class, and I have data type. Then I will say const user is equal to sequalize.define user. Remember something. Now, this is my table. It will be users, but how sequalize work, I need to define this one as singular. So if I say user, it will create a table called users. So I need to make this one singular, although the table name is users with plural. But this one, it must be singular. And after that, I will define a different property. I have an ID. What type of ID? It will be integer, auto increment, yes. Primary key, yes. Email data type, it will be string. I make it 15 maximum. I can make it more if I want to, or less, depend. Unique, true. That means I need the email to be unique because I will, depending on the email, I will check if the user exists or not. That means I should not allow 2 users to have the same email. Allow null false. Password data type, it will be string as well. I need to hash it. Allow null false. And that's simply our return user. And then I'm going to export my create user. Any question here? We're just repeating. I did not change anything. Question? Question? Question?
Maybe line 2. So you said that we should put user, not users.
So what how sequelize work? You see, when I'm saying define, that means I want you to create. Define means create table. How sequelize work? You need to remember that. Sequelize normally take a single form. So that will be for single user. But what SQLi is doing, it will take this guy and then it will make it plural and it will name the table users. So if I have, for example, table, let's say recipes, I should define it as recipe singular, and after that, sequelize, it will make it plural automatically, okay? So this one must be singular all the time.
And if, for example, we have mouse and the plural form for mouse is mice, so it will add s?
I have no idea. But
Okay,
what you need to do, I think yes. But what you need to do, you need to just to do the singular form here. Let me check actually. Where's equalize, equalize, equalize? Should be here. Voila. Equalize dot define. So what you can do here, just say define. Voila. Click on her. So as you can see here, defining user singular, as you can see. So you need to define everything actually as a singular. If you go back to the documentation, you will see that. I mean, each module here, you need to define it as a singular. And then after that, equalize, it will make it plural for you. Okay?
Okay.
See, user, for example. User. So the way you define it here, you say just user, singular. And then what this guy is going to do is make it plural for you. We can check that, by the way. Now we will create a table, recipe, only recipe, and then we'll check if it will make it plural or not. Okay, I think that should be fine for the user currently. It's fine. Now what I need to do here, I need to make sure that the user module is being imported to index, and it's being imported to index, as you can see, create user. And after that, after I define this setting, which you already have, you don't need to do anything here. You just need to do this one here. DB users, it's equal to create user, and you need to pass equalize lowercase s, which will be the instant, and data type. Because this function, when I create user, I was expecting two parameters, equalize the instant, as you can see, that's the instant, and data type, and I'm passing them here. We should be okay. Okay, fine. What should I do after that? Well, I can just go to user controller, because that will be the next one. After I go to the user controller, what should I do here? Any idea what should I do? So this is my module user. It's equal to db.user. You already have this one. We imported from index.js. And now I have user controller, and here I need to define my. Hello. What do I need to do? Yes, I need to define my controller here for each route. So I need the first one, maybe it will be get register form. Why get register form? Because simply when the user go to click on register, I will send him a form, and so like that he will be able to register. After that, I have register, and register here, it will be async function. Can anyone tell me why it will be async function? Why it will be async function? Why this one is not async? Why the second one is async?
Because it's dealing with database.
Yes, because register login here, what it is doing here is dealing with database. And when we deal with database, this task, it must be an async task because it will take some time. Here, I'm not dealing with database. I'm just sending a form. AGS here, I'm sending a form. Here, I'm just clearing the cookies, and after that, I'm redirecting. So I'm not dealing with database. But when it comes to login and register, I am dealing with database, and my function must be async because I'm planning to use await. Yes? Good. Yeah. Now what I need to do, I need to import this guy here inside my user route. So in order to do so, I can just say const. Oh no, actually before that, I can just say import. And here it's called user, we name it user controller, right? User controller from controller slash user.js. Now I can destructure it, right? So I can just say const. And voila, that's all my function, which is 5 of them. Get register form, that's it. Register, that's it. Get login form, that's it. Login, it's here. And logout, it's here. Now all I need to do here, I need to just to pass. The first one, it will be get register form. The second one, it will be register. The third one, it will be get login form. And here it will be login. And here it will be logout. Voila. So now I have all my controller in the user. That's very good. All I need to do now, I need to play a little bit with my controller and make them functional. So I have my route. Let me close this one. Let me go to here. Okay. Now, with different function I will need, so we have been doing the same process for more than 10 projects. What different function I will need when I come to user here? What do I will need? What do you think I will need?
All the utils.
So first, let's go to the package. I will need import GWT. I will need GWT. Why? Why I will need GWT? Because I will need to create
A token.
token. I will need bcrypt. Why?
Password.
Wow. To hash the password, yes. Do I need to validate password? This util function, I need it? Do I need validate password or not? Yes, no?
Yes.
Of course I need validate password. Come on. In util, I need all of those. I need validate password, and it's coming from util validate password. I need to validate email. So import validate email from /util validate email. Also, I will need, so validate email. I need match password, right? Import match passwords. Match password coming also from util.match password. Also, I will need hash password. Why? Because I need to hash my password. So import hash password from .util hash password. I think that's everything I need for now. I imported my DB. This is my module user. So db.user, it's equal to user. That's my module. Why is that? Because if I go to my index here, as you can see, I'm saving it this way. db.user, it's equal to whatever this function will return. And this create user, what does it return? So if I go back to user here, it returns, as you can see, a user module. So like that, I need the user module. The user module allow me to interact with the database. So get register form here, it's the simplest one. Now I just need to send a form. So what will be the stuff here? I can just say res.status. What will be the status?
200.
200, of course. And then I can just render because I'm planning to use EGS. And here I can just name it register-form. Register-form. Voila. So this one is super easy. As you can see, I can just copy the name to not make sure I will not make any mistake. I have include, there's nothing here. So let me create this guy. Voila, .egs. Voila. I need to create a template. And here it will be register, right? Register. And now I can go inside the body. I can create a header. That's, of course, depend on you how you're going to style your EGS. I mean, register. Let's just name it register. And here, of course, I will need a form. What will be the action? So when the user try to click on the button, where should I redirect him? To /API/register, right? What will be the method?
Post.
Post, of course. POST, voila. Yeah, I need to remove one of them. One of them is extra. So why I'm trying to redirect the user to API/register? Well, it's quite simple, because if I go to user routes, where's my user route? Voila. And now what do I want to do? Well, I want to go here, because this function now, register, it will be responsible for registering the user. So this route are the same. The only difference between them, the method here is get, the method is post. So I need an API. Why? Because in my index.js, I add API for both of them, for user route and recipe route. So API always will be there. That's the reason why I need an API. So /API/register method is post, which is great. Now what I can do, I can go to my form. Now here I need to add few stuff here. I actually don't need username. I will need email. And here's just some stuff here for email. Email, like that. A type of email, it will be, I can make it email, by the way. It could be text, or also it could be email. What the name will be? The name, it will be email, and the ID, it will be email. It's required, as you can see. Password, it stays the same. I will need another field. What it will be?
Repassword.
Exactly. And as you can see, I need repassword here, Agnieszka. I don't want it in my database. The idea of repassword to make sure that the user did not make mistake when he enter his password. So what I can do here, I can just say and here I can name it repassword here if I want to. Here should be lowercase, repassword like that. And it will be for repassword. The type always, it will be password. Repassword also is a password, but the name, it will be different. As the ID, it will be different. Remember, this name is important because depending on this name, I can access the request.body and grab the value. Okay, that should be fine, I think, right? We have our email, we have our password, we have our repassword. That should be good. Actually, I can make this one type email here if I want to. We have type email, right?
Yes.
Do we? Of course, we have type email. That should be good. And now here in register. Okay, now when the user click on this button, it will redirect the user to /API/register the method. It will be post. That's mean if the method is post, that's mean if I go back to user route here, it will hit this route. And because it will hit this route, this controller, it will be triggered, which is called register. So now here's the question, what should I do? First, I need to grab the value, right? What different value I had? Email.
Password and repassword.
Good. Repassword. Well, I now have 3 value. So I have password, repassword. Remember something important. Depending on my form, whatever I name it, this value it must be the same name. So if I go to my form here, if I name it here, Jack, the value I need to access, I need to use Jack. There is a reason here. This property is very important. So we name this property repassword. That means if I want to access the value, I will say request.body dot whatever I name it. Okay? That should be good. Okay, that should be good. I don't need that, all of that. Now I have the 3 value. After I have 3 value, what should I do? What do you think I should do? After having the 3 value. Yes, what should I do?
Const user exists. Await user find one.
Exactly. So what I need to do here, I need to make sure first, the user trying to register, I need to make sure that his email does not exist in my database. Why? Because the email must be
Unique.
unique. So here I can just say check if user exists. And I can just name it exists. So how can I do that? Well, I can just name const user exist or whatever you want to call it. It's fine. I need to use await because now I'm trying to deal with database. So I need to use my module. User.find1. And the bug last time it was this one actually. User.find1. And now here I need to create an object. And then inside the object, I need to say where. And here email is like that. So here either I can just pass the email because the value of the email and the key and the value is the same, or I can just say email is equal to email. It's possible as well. So what we are trying to do now? Well, what we are trying to do here, we are trying to find a user with this email. So we will have 2 possibilities. If we have the user, it will return me, and what it will return me? What it will return me?
True.
No. If the user exists, it will return me. It will return me an object, which will be the user object, right? This one, it will be an array. So we'll have an array with the user object. But if I don't have the user here, I think either it will return an empty array. Let's log it and see. Let's log it. So what I can do here, I can just say console.log, just so I know what it will return me. And now what I can do, it look like, wait, I have some problem here. Yeah, it look like I have some resolve problem. So what I can do, I can go to index. Do I have resolve in somewhere here?
Yeah, resolve for join 16.
16, yeah. So let me remove it and type join. And let's see if that problem fixed. I hope so. No, it's still not. One module is not found. Error cannot find module bcrypt. Imported from user desktop, bcrypt from project recipe controller. Why there is no bcrypt?
Maybe in JSON we don't have bcrypt.
We do have bcrypt.
Oh yeah,
As you
we
can
have.
see there. And now what I can do, I can go to user. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? That's my user. Here I don't need where.
Some
And here,
bcrypt.js is not correct.
yeah, should be bcrypt. But now it should be good. Voila. Yeah. Okay. Now what do I need to do? Well, I need just to log this value to check what do I have. So what can I do? Well, either I'm gonna use Postman or I can use my stuff here. So let's use my stuff here. Let's use my browser. So what was it was localhost how much? 5004, and I need to say API dot register, right? Voila, that's my form. And now all I need to do here, I can put an email and then I can put a password. So let's use user1234 exclamation mark. Repassword, same idea, user 1234 exclamation mark. Now I will not have a response, okay? So of course I will not have a response, but what I can do here, see what does it return me? What does it return me?
Null.
Null. So what's going on here? So what this guy is going to return, if I have the object already, it will return me the object. If I don't have it, it will return me null. So if null is false values, that means it should be easy now to participate. So what should I do here? Well, what I can do here, I can say, if user exists, that means I already have this email. So what I can do, I can send status for 400, and I can say user already exists. And of course, because I already have EGS 404, I can use it. So let's go here. Let's try to render. And here I can render 404. And here I need to pass an object with two value, title. User already exists, and I need to pass a message as well. Message. Voila. Now you may tell me why you are using 404, because if you have a look at 404C, I have title and I have message, so I can use it for anything I want to, for any error I want to. So I need to pass just an object with title and message. That's what is it. And here, that's the reason why I am using it instead of creating a new one. So what I'm doing here, if user exists, well, that means I already have the email. So I will just send a response, status 400, that means it's a client error. And I will just render user already exists, or I can just say email already exists, something like that. Is the idea clear? Yes, no?
Yes.
Of course, remember I'm using return here. That means I don't need else block. So if I got to this one here, that means the email does not exist. Because if the email exists, I'm going here and I will have a response. I'm sending a response with status 400 and I'm sending a message and I'm returning. So I am exiting this function here. But if I got here, that's mean the user does not exist. So what I need to do here, I need to validate the email. I need to validate the password. And I need to match the password, okay? So here, Agnieszka, as you can see, we are matching the password just to make sure that the user is correct about his password and repassword. So how can I do that? Well, it's quite simple. All I have to do, I can just say const is valid email. I already have this util function, which is called validate email. And now here I need to do the same for password is valid password. I also have function validate password. And here now I need to do my password match, which will be the password and the repassword. Do they match or not? Well, I also have a function which is called match password. I need to pass the password first, then the repassword. Why? Because simply if I go to here, see, first they have passwords, then I have repassword. Okay, so that's great. So now what I'm doing here, I've checking is this guy is valid, this email is valid, this password is valid, and both password and repassword match. That means if these three are true, and then what I'm going to do after that, what will be the next step? If all of them are true, then what will be the next step?
Create user.
I can create a user, and then after that, I can, yes. So what I'm going to do here, I can hash the password. So I will need to hash the password, of course. I will then create a password, and then after that, I can redirect to, for example, to API/login. So what I can do, I can just say if is valid email and is valid password and do password match. So 3 conditions must be true. All 3 must be true. And of course, if all 3 are true, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do something else. If one of them is not true, then I can return status 400. That means it is a client error, and I can render 400. And here I can just say invalid email or password. And of course, here it will be invalid email or password. Why I don't say invalid password only? Why?
For secure reasons?
Yes. Okay. So I handle the else block. Now I can go to this one. Well, if that's the case, so I can just say const hashed password. And to hash the password, of course, I don't need to use the await. I can just use my password, hash password. Why I don't need to use await? Well, I can go back to my function here, hash password. And as you can see, hash password, I'm using sync here. So I'm using hash sync. So I'm not using it as async. I'm using it as sync. So I don't really need to use await. I just need to pass my password. That's it. So hash password is equal to hash password, and I'm passing my password, which is great. Now I need to create a new user. I can just say const new user like that. New user, of course, it will be an object. What do I will need here? I will need the email and I will need the password only. That's all I need. But remember, the password must be the hash password. So I will take the email as it is, but the password, I need to hash it. After that, now, what do I want to do? Well, I can just create my user, but how? Well, I need to use await because I need to use my module user dot, and I have something called create. Well, and here I need to pass my data, and that should be good. Simply like that. Now you may ask me why I did not save this one a variable. I don't need it because when I create the user, then I just need to redirect. So you can just say res.status. What's the status of redirect? 3.0.
302.
Yes, and redirect to /API/log. And voila. That should be good. This one should be easy because we have done it 100 times, right? Yes.
Yes.
Good. Now, what do I need to do here as the next step? Well, I need to just to get login form. It's very simple. It's just like this one here. I can just copy this one and just go here to login. Well, and of course here I need to modify it because it's not registered anymore. I can just say login like that. Do I have login form? Do I have login form?
Not yet.
Not yet, so I need to create it. Yes, voila. So now it will be easy. Why? Because I just can take this guy here. I can copy paste it. Or you can create a new form if you want to. Instead of register, now we need login. Same here, instead of register, we login. Of course, if you want to style it, you can include your CSS. I'm not gonna style it. And here it will be API/login. The method still post. Now here, I don't need the password in the login. I just need 2 property. I need the email and the password. And here, register. So let me get rid of this one. I need login. Voila. Anything I forgot? Should be good, right? Login, API login, method is post, email should be the same, and password should be the same, and login should be good, huh? Okay, that was easy. Click. Now let's go back to our user here. Voila. I'm sending my form, login form. That should be good. Login form, everything's correct. Now, when the user click on login, it will redirect me to /API/login, and the method, it will be post. If I go back to my route, That means it will hit this controller, which is login. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to go to this login and try to do some stuff here. First, I need to grab the value, right? Const, email, and password. Do I have a password here?
No.
No.
No, I don't need it actually. Okay, that's fine. So now I have email and password. So what should I do? Well, I need to do the same actually. I need to make sure if the user exists or not, because if the user does not exist, that means this user is not registered yet. So I should not allow him to log in. So what will be the solution is quite simple. I can just say const user exists. It's equal to await, because I need to go to my database user.find1, same idea. Here, object, then where, email is email. That should be good. It will return the same thing. If I have a user, it will return me an object. If I don't have a user, it will return me null. Okay, if it return me null, so if no user exists, if the user does not exist, what should I do? If the user does not exist, what should I do?
Register.
No, if the user does not exist, if the user try to log in and the user does not exist, what should I do?
Error message.
So what I need to do here, I will send status 400, which is client error, and tell him user not found. User not found, please register. Because he need to register first. Now here he is trying to log in, Rodica. And if he log in and he does not have this account, so I will tell him, please register first. Okay? So if the user does not exist, I'm gonna send status 400, client error, and I tell him, please register. And I can use 404 again because I'm passing title and message. That's okay. Remember, I'm returning here. That means I don't need the else block. So if I got to this point here, that means the user is exist, right? If I got to this point here, that means the user with this email exists. So what should I do now? What should I do?
Check if the password is correct.
Yeah, I can check the password if it is correct indeed. So how can I do that? I can use bcrypt, right? So I can just say bcrypt.compare, and here I will take the user password, the user enter, and then user exist dot password. Why I am checking user exist dot password? What's the reason? Why? Why user exist dot password? Because the user exist dot password, what type of password here it will be? How I'm saving the password?
It will be hashed.
Exactly. So user exists dot password, that will be the hash password, and that will be the password the user enter. And that's the reason why I'm comparing them. That's the reason why I'm using bcrypt. So I will have error and result. Result, it will be Boolean. So I like to name it is valid. So let's go here. Of course, if I have an error, it will be simple. I can just, if error, I can just log the error and I can send status to the user, it's fine. Or I can just log the error. It's really depend. Invalid password, or let's just say, or email for security reason, or email. Voila. So if there is error, I'm directly gonna send the user some stuff and tell him either your password or your email is wrong. I don't care. Now, if is valid, what's that supposed to mean if it's valid? Remember, is valid is a Boolean. If it's valid, that means the password and the hash password, it match. What should I do after that?
Token.
Create token.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do here, I can just say const token, it's equal to GWT dot sign. And here I can save the user email if I want to email. How can I get it? Well, I can get it from user exist dot email and process.env. I don't need expiry stuff here. So I'm gonna remove this one, but now I will need the GWT secret. Now I need to be very careful with that because sometimes I name it something in my .env and here I name it something else. So let me copy it. Let me go to my .env just to make sure. See, they are not the same. Just to make sure, I'm gonna copy paste it so I don't make any mistake. GWT secret, fine, we can name it GWT, fine, that's great. So I've created my tokens, that's great. Now what should I do after that? I need to create,
Cookie.
of course, I need to create set cookie. And here, what I can do, I can just say res.cookie token, HTTP only must be true. Why? Why HTTP only must be true?
So the user cannot access it.
Yes, so the client-side script cannot access it and get our token. I can also save the user ID if I want to. Maybe I will need it. So I can just say res.token. And here in this token, I can take ID. So I will name it ID. And how can I grab the user ID? Well, it's quite simple. User exists.id. And here also I can make the HTTP only true. Now you may tell me why I'm saving the user ID. Well, maybe I will need it here. I mean, maybe I will need it for some reason. I remember last project we did, we needed the ID. That's the reason why I'm saving the ID as a cookie as well. We cannot save it now. We can do our project, and after that, if we need it, we can save it. But I'm just saving the ID here. After that, I need to redirect, right? So I can just say res.status. What is the status? 3.0. 302 redirect to API/home, and here we will have /recipes. Clear? Yes,
And
no?
some line 80, why it's res.token?
Where is it?
80. 80.
80.
Res.token.
It's not token, it's cookie actually.
Oh, okay.
Because we don't have token. Voila. Is that the correct one? Good. We're saving the user ID, we save the user token, and make HTTP only true. That's great. We redirect, and that should be very nice. Now, the last one is super simple here. If the user want to log out, and now I need to clear the cookie, and also I need to redirect to API/recipe. So here, that should be simple. And here, as you can see, I'm clearing the ID because I create the ID. I'm clearing the token, and I'm redirecting to API/recipe. And we are done with users. Voila. That's it. All users should be fine now. Of course, I didn't test it yet, but let's do our recipe, and after that, we will test everything together, right? So, what do I need here? Well, I need to go to recipe here. How many routes do I need?
5 or 6?
Yeah, I think maybe 6, it will be fine. So what do I need? Here I need router dot get, and here I need to get all recipes here, something like that. I don't have the function, so now I will do it without the function, without controller. Later I'm gonna create my controller. So that recipe, I need a single recipe, so router dot get recipe ID. That's nice. I need to be able to add a new recipe. And to add a new recipe, I will need to send a form. So what I can do here, I can just say router dot get. In here, I say slash. I can just say add dash. Add what? Add recipe, right? So I can just say add a recipe here. Remember the method, it will be get because I'm planning to send a form, and then here post add recipes. That should be fine. After that, I will need to do put. So it will be router dot put. And here I can just say recipe/ID. It should be fine. Of course, there is difference between this one, and both use the ID, but this method is get, this method is put, so it will be fine. And the last one, it will be delete, of course. So I need 6 actually. Yep.
And also get by user?
If you want, yes, you can add get by user if you want to. It's fine. I can implement it later. That's fine. What should I do now after I did this one? Well, I need to go to my module. In my module, I have book, which is bad. I need to rename it, right? What should I name it? What should I rename it? Recipe, yeah, like that, yes. So let's name it recipe. Let's go to my recipe here. And here, of course, it will not be create book. It will be create recipe. I think recipes should be correct. And here it's not book, it's recipe, like that. And here I need to go down and I need to return recipe. And here user define, I can just use recipe. Remember, this one need to be lowercase and single. That's how SQLize work. So if you remember, I told you this one must be single. User lowercase, user single, and recipe singles, recipe lowercase. So I have recipe here, and I'm returning the recipe uppercase, which is good. And now here I need to name it create recipe. So let's name it. Let's get rid of this one and name it create recipe. Now the question here, what different property I need for the recipe? Well, I need ID, of course. I need data to be integer, auto increment, that's good. Title, we need title for recipe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so data that should be fine. After that, we don't need the author. What do we need here?
Ingredients.
Maybe ingredient, yes. Ingredient is not correct, I suppose. Ingredient. And here, if I hover over it, I'll try to correct it. Ingredient should be like that. It's ingredient or ingredients, should be plural, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's also string, that's good for me, it's fine. So I need title, I need ingredient. What else? Price, do I need price? No, probably I will not need price, so I'm going to get rid of it. Image, I will need it. It's nice to have an image for. And I can have user ID. Why user ID? Well, because if I want to get, for example, all the recipe belong to one user, so I need to make a connection between my user table and my recipe table. So I'm using user underscore ID, which will be good. Now here it's foreign key, remember that. Oh, that should be good, I think, yeah. Do I need to add something else? ID, title, ingredient, image, user ID, so that should be good.
Directions, how to prepare it.
What do we call this one?
Maybe directions?
Yeah, no.
No?
No.
I'm not a good cook. Massimiliano?
I don't know. Description. I don't know.
Oh,
description.
Yeah.
Okay, let's name it description. So what description are you? It will be string as well, so I can just copy paste it this way. And here I can just name it description. Should be good, huh? Remember, all of those are not null, huh? So all of them are not null, so you need to include them. Okay, that's perfect. Now, what do I need to do? Well, I need now to go to my index.js to correct some stuff. And what could be this stuff? Well, first one here, it would be create recipe. So I need to go to my index. And here, I'm no longer importing this one, and I need to import create recipe from recipe.js. That should be good. The rest should be fine. Join, it's okay. I need to copy this guy, create recipe, I suppose. Now what I need to do, yeah, it's not create book, it's create recipe, as you know. And here it will be db.book. No, it will be db.recipes. And yeah, that should be good for me as well. Now the relation here, we need to do that. Now one user can have multiple recipe, right? One user can have multiple recipes, right?
Yes.
So here it will be db recipes. db recipes. As it's not book, it's at recipes. What is the foreign key? Well, the foreign key is still the same user ID. And here as user, db book, no, it's db recipe. Recipe belong to one user. db recipe belong to db user as user, foreign key user ID. That should be good. And now that's it simply, as you can see. So the relation is one-to-many as well. Why? Because one user can have multiple recipe, but each recipe belongs to one user. So it's the same relationship, one-to-many. DB user has many DB recipe. As recipes, as the name of the table here, all lowercase and plural. By the way, here you can name it whatever you want to, but the convention we just name it recipe. A foreign key user ID, and here DB recipe belongs to DB user as user. You can name it user because it belongs to one user. But here, one user here, it could have multiple recipes. That should be fine. I need to correct one thing else. So it will be DB recipe like that. And now I need to go to my book here, and I don't have book anymore. I have recipe, right? Recipe.js. So I can now go here, and it's not db book, no, it's db recipe. It's equal to recipe, like that. And that should be good. I think I made a small mistake here. This shouldn't be recipe plural, it should be singular actually. Recipe. That's correct, recipe, right?
Yes.
Recipe. Good. Okay, let's close all of them. I think I update everything, but I need to make few changes. I need to go here, and now I don't have recipes. Actually, I have just, I need to import a recipe. Recipes route, yes, I can name it recipe. No, recipe single, recipe routes. Routes from, yeah, that should be good. Recipe single. And now here, all I need to do, I need to go to here, this guy, and that should be good. I have single recipe. All here is good. For recipe here, everything should be good. I did not make any mistake. If I go to recipe here module, it should be good as well. I name it recipe. This one is single and lowercase as SQLize want from me. Create recipe is good. Create recipe is good. I've imported in the index. Now it's create recipe. And here db recipes, it's equal to create recipe, which is good as well. I define my relationship, which is good. Now I need to go to, yes.
Can you go back to index and go to line 55, I think?
55, here.
Yeah, and here as maybe recipe, not recipes.
Yes, but the idea here, the user could have multiple recipes, plural.
But it's no, it's not defined as a recipes, but as a recipe or not.
I know, but as here, you just mean you can name it, you can give it any name. So
Okay.
as you can give it any name. The reason why I name it recipes because multiple recipe belong to one user. And the reason why I name it user here single, because a lot of recipe can belong to one user. Okay.
I thought it should be the same as in models recipe.
No, you can modify it as you like. But if you like, let's name it recipe. It's fine. Don't worry. Huh? So you'll not be sad. Okay. That should be good. That should be good. Now I need to create my controller, and now I need to work on my routes. Those are important. So what do I need from here? Well, I need 5 routes, as you can see. So the first one here, it will be, let's name it get recipes, plural. And here, of course, it will be a sync function. Can anyone tell me why? Why it will be a sync function?
It's dealing with database.
Yes, so I will need get recipe single. And remember, here is plural single. Also, I will need async. Then I can here get add recipe. It will be a form. Does my form here add recipe? Let's just name it add recipe here. Add get recipe for name. Get a recipe form. Did it need to be a sync here? Get recipe form?
No.
No, because I'm just sending here a form. I'm not dealing with database. But add recipe, yes. Also here, I need to update recipe, and when I'm updating recipe, it must be a sync. Delete recipe, I told you the delete is a reserved keyword, but because I name it delete recipe, it's fine. It's not a problem. But try to avoid delete alone, because delete is a reserved keyword in JavaScript, okay? So normally when I name it just delete, I name it remove. I don't name it delete, because delete is a reserved keyword in JavaScript. But now delete recipe should be fine. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of them, that's good. I need now just to import this guy here, so I can just import.
You need to change the book controllers, recipe controllers.
You are right. You are absolutely right. Very good. So let's name it recipe controller. Yeah, good. And that should be good, right? Okay, now here I just need to import a recipe controller. And here from /controller recipe.js. Should be good. Now I need to destructure my stuff here. So conf, and here I can destructure all of them. Just make sure everything is correct. So I have get recipes, yes. Get recipe, yes. Get recipe form, yes. Add recipe, yes. Update recipe, yes. Delete recipe, yes. So it's good. So let me click this one. I don't need it anymore. Now here, of course, it will be get recipes. Here it will be get recipe single one. Get recipe. And here I will need to get a form. So get recipe form, because I'm planning to send a form. The method is get. And then here it will be add recipe. Here it will be update recipe. And the last one, of course, it will be delete recipe. Voila. Now let's close this one. I will need this guy. So I need to work on this one, and maybe I need to work on some this one. My job in module, I think it should be finished. Here I need to work on this guy. Route, I don't need anything. This, I don't think I will need anything. Yeah, maybe that's my job. It will be here and here. Okay, so let's start with this guy here. Get recipe. What do I need in get recipe? Well, I can just use try and catch, right? Yes, no? If I have an error, what should I do? What should I do if I have an error? I can just press status. I can say status 500. And 500 here, what I can do here, instead of send some dummy data, I can use render. Well, now here I can use, either I can create a new template if I want to, or I can use 404. Can I use 404?
Yes.
Yes, of course I can use 404. And in here I need to pass an object with title. 404 page not found or something. Of course, that's not correct. It's not this one here. I need to say it's server error or something. So you can just say server is down, server error, message server error, or stuff like that. So I should be good if I have an error. But of course, if I don't have an error, now I can get all my recipes. So I can just say const recipes, it's equal to await. I need to wait to connect to my database. And now I can use my recipe and find all. And that should work. Well, that's nice. What can I do here? Well, what I can do, I can use EGS. And here in EGS, I can just render all my recipes. So I can just say status 200, render recipes, which I don't have yet. And here I don't need the title. I'm going to pass my recipes here, as you can see. And I need to pass something else, which will be token. Why do I need the token? Why do I need the token? Can anyone tell me why do I need the token? Rest.cookies, request.cookies.token. Why do I need token? Come on, guys.
We have access to the resource.
For the nav here, when I create my nav, I will need the token. Because if I don't have token, I don't know if the user is logged in. I don't know if I'm going to show him register or login, right? So first, let's create our recipe first. Let's create my recipe here. I can go to view and I can just say recipe.egs. I can create my template here. I'm not going to style it, of course. You need to style it. And here, let's just name it recipes like that. In the body, I can just create a header. And I can create an H1. And then I can name it recipes like that. Now here, of course, recipe, it will be an array, right? Yes? It will be an array, right?
Yes.
So what I can do here, I can just say recipe dot for each recipe. And that's open and close. And for each recipe, I can just, instead of creating this guy here, which I don't like, I can just now add the recipe name. I can add description. What else do we have? Title, right? We don't have name. I think we have title. We have title, we have description, we have ingredient, right? Here I can description, I can add ingredient, I suppose. Ingredient, but I need to make sure the name is correct. So what I can do, I can go to my module, recipe, yes, ingredient, and also I have image, by the way. So here, dot ingredient, and I'm gonna put my image at the top, so I can just say img like that. And in img, of course, now I can have dot slash equal, and I can add the image like that. And for the alt, I don't have alt, right? Do I have alt? I can use title, no? So I can say recipe, dot image like that. And of course, this one, I need to remove this extra space. And here I can just say recipe dot, I can use the title. That should be good. Should be fine. So I have recipe, I'm looping through them, I'm using AGS, I have one recipe. And here I will put the image, recipe.image, or the alt recipe.title. I can put title, ingredient, and description. And of course, you can use a different element if you want. It's totally up to you. Of course, now what I need to do, I need to include my navigation bar, which I don't have currently. So I need to create it. I can just say angle bracket % minus, and I need to use include, right? Include is not correct, right? Include. And now here, what do I need to do? I need to say dot slash include slash nav EGS, and I need to pass the token here. So how can I pass the token? Well, I can now just say token. It's equal to token. That should be good. Yes? Yes, no? Yeah, I'm just grabbing that because I need to I pass a token to recipes. I have recipes and I have token. I will pass the token to my nav EGS, which I currently have nothing. So I need to create my nav. And in my nav, I can create LI. Come on, not high, LI. And in an I now I can create, I can create all recipes like that, but it should be API slash, right? If I'm not mistaken, API slash recipe. I will also need, what else will I need? I need add recipe, right? Add recipe and add recipe. What else do I need? Login, API slash login. You are sleeping? What else do I need? Register?
And logout.
Yes. API slash register. And here, let's just name it register. And the last one, it will be logout. So let's add our logout here. Let's name it logout. Okay, now, of course, I need to check if there is token or not, right? So what I can do here, I can come here. And, well, what I can do, actually, I can put everything inside and an order list like that. It will be nicer, I think. And yeah, just let me close this guy. And what I can do here, I can just grab this guy, go to the end because they're an order list. So it will be nicer to put it here. So what I can do here, I can check first. And in order to check, I need to angle bracket %. And here I can just say if token, right? If token, then I can just close this guy here. I don't need this one. And now here I need angle bracket %. Voila. So I'm checking if there is token, then I'm gonna do something. If there is no token, I'm gonna do something else. So here what I can do, angle bracket %. And now here I can close the if. Now I can add else. And at the end, I need to close the else as well. Okay, now if I have token, I will always need recipe if I am the user is logged in or not. So I will always need it. So I will keep it at the top. Add recipe only if the user is logged in. So if there is token, I need to put it here then. Login and register if the user are not logged in. So I will put it here. And log out, of course, when the user is already logged in. So this one should go here. Voila. Yes, no? Yes, guys?
Yes, correct.
Good. Let's make sure I did not mess up with anything. No, should be correct. Oh, okay. We get rid of this one. Yeah, let's just close it. Let's go here, click, click, and that should be fine. Now get recipe. I want single recipe if I'm not mistaken here. And to get single recipe, I have a lot of idea actually. What I can do, I can go to recipe here. And what I can do here, I can just create a button if I want to. Button. And inside this button here, I can create an A tag. And when the user click on it, not edit, no, I can just say /API, which I need slash here, /API /recipe /ID. It's not underscore ID, it's recipe.id. And here I don't need edit, of course. What I can do here, I can just say show recipe, show or more, or whatever you want to call it. So now for each recipe now I will have a button, and inside this button is a link. When I click on it, it will take me to /recipe ID, and that's what I want to actually. And for recipe here, get recipe, single recipe, what I will need, well, first I need the ID, as you know. And to grab the ID, I can take it from the param, so request.param. And then here I can just use try and catch block. If I have an error, same idea, I can just copy this one here. Voila. And here, if I don't have an error, what I can do, I can just say post recipe. It's equal to await. And I can say recipe dot find one. And find one, of course, I need to pass an object. And then here I can use where ID is equal to ID. Simple like that. I can just say where is ID, it's equal to ID, or you that's what you want to. Okay. Now here I have two possibilities, that I will have the recipe or not. So here I can just say if recipe, that means I have it. Well, if no recipe, that means I don't have the recipe. So I can just send another title message, which will be 404, not found, recipe not found. If I have the recipe, I'm gonna render it. How? Well, it's quite simply, I am passing the recipe data here. So let me copy that. And now let me create this view, which will be a recipe. Recipe.egs. Voila. Now what I can do here, actually, I can copy this guy if I want to. I can go to recipe now. I can paste it here. I don't need this one here. And of course, I don't have to loop anymore, because here I will not have an array anymore. So what I will have here, I will just have these guys here. You are with me? What's happened?
No, все, продолжайте.
Who died? So what do I need here? Here, instead of going to specific one, because now I'll be specific one, I can go back to recipe itself. So I can just say here, go show all. So it will be the opposite, simply. Actually, I can put this one in li if I want to. It's totally up to you. Just.
So in the single recipe, you are not using the nav bar.
In single recipe, I'm using this button to go back.
Okay.
I'm not using the nav bar. But you can use it if you want to. It's totally up to you. I mean, it's what you want.
So
Okay.
if I use the navbar, I have to use the token in the controller. I have to give the token. Otherwise, no.
Yes. So if you're gonna use the navbar, you need to pass token, and that's the reason why I don't want to use it actually, because I don't want to pass token. So yes, if you're gonna use one of them, you need here again get recipe. You need to pass recipe and token, just like here, and that's what I don't want that. Okay.
Okay.
Problem solved. Now let's try to get recipe form, and here it should be super simple actually. I'm just gonna send status 200. I'm gonna run add recipe. I need to create a new form, of course. EGS. And here, what I can do here, I can just add recipe. And here I need to add a header. Add recipe, that should be fine. After that, I need a form, as you know. In form, of course, it will take it to slash API slash add recipe, right? Add dash recipe, like that. The method, it will be?
Post.
Of course, it will be post. Method, post. And here I need to add my stuff here. Of course, for the recipe, I'll need title. I need a few stuff. I need title, I need ingredient, I need description actually, yes. There was something else, what it was? That's it, all for property only? Let me go to recipe. So title 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it was only 4 because here I have user underscore ID. And that's the reason why I save user underscore ID as a cookie, because I will need it before I create any recipes. But that's fine. I have 4 of them. Type is text, that's fine. Title, ingredient, description, yes. Image, type text, it's fine. ID, image, and submission. That should be good. Voila. That should be good. Okay, now add recipe here. Of course, as you know, here I will need to grab some value. So I'll need to grab title, ingredient, and here I need to make sure that what I'm passing to the form, it's the same. So here name is ingredient. I'll name it ingredient. Here it's description. I'll name it description, not instruction, description. And then I need IMG as well. And that's IMG. Perfect. That's all I need. After I have these guys, of course, all of them are required. I can make a simple check if I want to, by the way. So I can check that all of them exist or not. And or you can directly use try and catch. It's totally up to you. Because when you try to post this one in your database will not allow you. Anyway, it will not allow you. It will go to the catch block. But let's do this one here. I can use try and catch recipe, await recipe.create. And here I have title, I have ingredient, I have description, I have image, that's cool. Recipe.status 201, I can redirect it to API, not to recipes, but API/recipe. That should be good. And of course, if I have an error, I'm sending status 500 server error, that's it. Remember, all of them are required, huh? Because if I try to post anything, if anyone is missing, my database will not allow me and it will give me to the catch block. Update recipe, well, it's simple as well. I need ID and I need the updated data. So here I will need both ID. So I can just say const ID, it's equal to request.param. And also I will need title, ingredient, description. Here it's const. Oh, well, here I can use try and catch. And of course, if I have an error, I can just send the same message here. It should be fine. If I don't have an error, now what I can do here, I can just say const recipe await recipe.update. And remember here, where must be inside an object here. So I'll pass title, ingredient, description, image, where IDs, that should be fine. And now here, I will gonna redirect it again to API/recipe, not to ID. That should be good. And here should be 302 because I'm redirecting. That should be okay. The last one, delete, it's the simplest one. So const ID, I can grab it from the param, and here I can just use try and catch. If I have an error, I am just gonna send a message, which will be res.status 500 server error if you want. And here you can just say const recipe. It's equal, come on. It's equal to await recipe.destroy. I'm passing where ID is equal to ID. Of course, here then after that I can redirect to API/recipe, and here to be 302. And that should be good. Now I can test my application, and hopefully it will be working. I don't know. Let's go here. API/register, click. Okay, let's try now to register a new user and see what will happen. I'm gonna use John, user 1234 exclamation mark. User 1234 exclamation mark, enter. And it was successful. Now I just need to log in. John, user 1234 exclamation mark, enter. The site cannot be reached. Why? It looked like I don't have any recipes. That's the reason why. Let's inspect. What I need to do here, I need to go to application. So as you can see, I have user ID, which is 1. I have token. So the user is logged in, but the idea here, I don't have any recipe, and that's the reason why it's crashing. So what I can do, I can try to add some recipe now because I'm already logged in. So I can say API/add recipe, right? It was add recipe. No, it should be add recipe. But why is not working then? Because my application crashed. Token is not defined. Where? How come token is not defined? Token is equal to token. Okay, let's try again. Yeah, now I have some stuff. So title, I will just add some dummy stuff for now. Of course, you can add something nice. And here, let's just go to food, lovely one. Yeah. I think you're gonna like this project because all of you like food. Okay, where is the good food? Meat. I hate meat. Okay, I'm gonna just pick this picture. It doesn't matter. Copy image address. I'll go here. I'm gonna paste it. I will add recipe, and I have server error for some reason. I don't know what's the problem. Let's see. I should not have any server error actually. I'm trying to add recipe, or should be good actually. Recipe is create title. Everything should be good actually. Let's try to go again. What the hell is going on? Token is not defined. Why? Request.cookies.token.
It shouldn't be
Token.
const token.
You're right. You're right. Let's try again. And now it's solved. So that was the problem. I'm still logged in. I did not log out. So let's go to localhost 3000 API, and it was recipes. Voila. Let's try to add another recipe. I think I forgot something important actually. Can anyone tell me what was the important thing I forgot? When we add the recipe, I forgot something important. Yes? What did I forget?
User ID.
Yes, user underscore ID, and which will be request.user.id, which that's the reason why I save it in a token. So it will be request.use. No, it's actually a request dot token. What is it? Where is it? Request.token.id. And here it will be request.token.id. Voila. And now it should work. Let's see. Let's see again. Let's try to add another recipe. Meow, meow, anything, it will work. Let's copy image. Oh, no, copy image address. Let's go to this guy now. Let's paste it. Let's add recipe, and voila, now it's working, as you can see. So the reason why it's not working, when I was trying to add, I was forgetting one property, which is user ID. So if I go back to my module here, which is recipe, there is one important module, which is a foreign key. If you don't add it, it will not allow you to add a new record. So that's the reason why it was not allowing me, okay? And of course, that's the reason why I save it in the first place as a cookie, because I will need this ID to create any record. I will need this ID, this guy one. And now what I can do here now, if I go show more, notice it will go to this specific one. Show all, it will go back to this one. And now what I can do, of course, I am logged in because I can see log out and add recipe. I can add a new recipe if I want to. So let's add the shawarma. Who likes shawarma? Who likes shawarma? No one? Shawarma. Shawarma chicken is tasty. Copy image address. What is it? Voila. Let's add this one, and voila. I have an error. Why? Let's go here. Yes, but I've added user underscore ID. Everything should be fine, actually. Strange. Let's run it again. Let's try again. Add recipe. API slash. Yes, but it does not save it. So let's try to go add recipe. Ingredient, description, and the image here. Let's just take any image here. Copy image address. Work. So yeah, the value for the width is invalid and has been ignored. What the hell is that? Yeah, what is the value of the width, guys? Let's go to views, add recipe. Yes, I need this one. Recipe. Yes. No, it should be good. Okay, we shouldn't have this one anymore. Refresh, it's gone now, and now everything is working perfectly, as you can see. You can see your recipe, you can log out, you can add a new recipe, you can see all the recipe, everything should be fine. Yes. No. Yes, no.
Could you also add the recipes for the user?
Sure, why not? What route do you want me to do add? Recipe here. First I need to add my route. Yeah, but that's not what I want to. That's what I want to. So here we say route. Router dot get. You want get, right?
Yeah.
Get. And in here, let's just name it recipes, get by user. By user ID, of course, it will be by user ID. Get recipes, and I already have get recipes, so I can just say by user. That should be good. And I need to go in here. I need to add it, and now I need to go to my
And
controller.
also it should be /ID. Recipes by user /ID.
No, because the user has unique ID. I'll show you what do I mean. I think here I will need to be a sim because I need to deal with database. Request and response. Of course, you can add an ID if you want to. It should be the user ID, but in the other hand, you don't really need, because why? I already have the user ID. Can anyone tell me what is the user ID? How can I grab the user ID? Const ID, it's equal to request dot cookies, right? Because I saved the ID as a cookie. If you go back, localhost, API recipes. So if I go here, I inspect, I go to application, see, that's the user ID. I saved it as a cookie, so I have the user ID. Okay, so now what should I do? Well, what I can do, it's quite simple. I have the user ID, so I can just say try and catch, simply like that. And catch. Of course, catch, in case I have an error, I'm just gonna throw an in the errors assets. That should be okay. I'm using 404. Now here, what I need to do here, I can just say const recipes. It's equal to await find all, where user ID it's equal to this ID. And here we are sending to recipe again, so it should be okay actually. If I hit this route, it should give me the same, because now both of them belong to the same user. So if I go now here, I should have two, because these two belong to the same user, which is user with ID 1. I've already logged in and I already have the ID. So if I say here slash get recipe by user, page not found, why? Why is not found? Get user by ID, I need to go to this one. So slash user
yeah,
ID.
it's recipes by user. Because you
Yeah.
paste get recipe.
Let's delete that. And I still have internal error. API slash recipe by user. It's telling me I have a problem. What is the problem? Let me see. It's look like it is in the token. I'm not passing the token. Okay, that's fine. Let's go back to our stuff here, and I can pass the token here if I want to, because it's telling me you are not passing the token. So let's pass the token. And now here, if I refresh, it should be good. Voila, see? Because these two belong to the same user, I still have them. Okay? Yes, Agnieszka?
Yeah, could you show again the token?
Request.cookie.token. That's how we grab our token. Actually, I can make it even easier. I can just say token like that. I can destructure both of them from cookie. And instead of this one here, now I can just say token. Because I'm already destructuring the user ID. Voila. So I need to find all where user underscore ID, that will be the foreign key. It's equal to ID, which will be the user ID. And I need to pass the token, because if I don't pass the token, I'm using the same, this one here, and I need to pass token. Or I can create a new EGS if I want to. So I can create a new one like that. I will not need token. Yes?
Okay.
And now your job is,